Hello, my name is Benjamin Timothy Goby, and for my project, the BTG Interviews, today I'm interviewing
Steven Hartley, and I've done, let me think now, I've done about 50 TV shows and films over the years, and then recently I've done probably about 20 games, computer games, which has been a new kind of side to my career really, which I've been doing motion capture, performance capture, and things like that, so yeah.
At what age did you start acting, and what inspired you to become an actor?
I did a lot of stuff when I was at school, actually. But I came from a working class northern family, and I didn't really know how you went about becoming an actor. It just wasn't anything that, you're not going to put your hand up at your...
The talk by Terry English will be starting in the Thames Room in a minute. Thank you very much.
That's a talk by Terry English, which is about to start in the games room. Yes, so I came from a working class northern family, and I didn't really know anything about acting. I didn't know how you became an actor, and it's not the kind of thing you can put your hand up to the careers teacher at school and go, yeah, I'm going to become an actor. Well, certainly not in the school I was at. And so I didn't go to drama school until I was 22 years old. But I'd always wanted to be an actor because I kind of expressed myself emotionally and verbally and physically far better than I did academically. But it took me a long time to figure it out, what to do and how to get there. And I was very, very lucky that the first time that I applied to go to drama college that I actually got in, and kind of luck was on my side, actually, as it would have it. So yeah, that's kind of how I started.
Question 2, what has been your best and most challenging roles in your career?
I've really enjoyed, I was very privileged to play the role of Bill Sikes in Oliver, in the musical Oliver, which was written by Lionel Barton. I did it for the director Sam Mendes at the London Palladium, and then I did it years later in 2010. I did it again at the Drury Lane Theatre. So I've actually played Bill Sikes 3 times in my career in the West End, and also in America, and I really loved doing that, and I'd never sung on stage before, so it was incredibly challenging for me and terrifying, to be quite honest. And you wouldn't want to hear me sing, not with this voice anyway, you know what I mean? But the Bill Sikes song is a very low song, and it's quite a gravelly, growly song. So, but I really enjoyed that, and I generally really enjoy things where you're given creative time, rehearsal time. The thing I like least is doing episodic television where you're just in one episode and then you're out, because it always feels very quick and you don't get as much creative input. And then I also I've enjoyed a couple of the feature films I've done, like The Walker and Columbus the Discovery, which have been big American movies, and they've been great fun to do as well. So I've kind of been very lucky that over the years I've done stage and TV and film. I've kind of been really lucky on that.
Question 3, which actors, actresses and other members in the film and television industry have you enjoyed working with before, and are there any you would like to work with in the future?
I really enjoyed doing Oliver with Robert Lindsay on stage. Robert's a fantastic actor, and I had a wonderful time doing it with him. And I've been privileged to work with some great actors and actresses. I've worked with Marlon Brando, and I've worked with Tom Selleck and John Voight and Benicio del Toro. And I learned a lot actually from Benicio del Toro, because even though he was a young actor at the time and I was quite a young actor, I was amazed at Benicio's natural talent on camera. He was quite phenomenal. And I remember looking at him and trying to be very influenced by the way he knew about the lenses, he knew about close-ups at a very young age. He must have been only in his early 20s when I worked with him. And then I learn from people all the time, actually. And also, I think, there's a lot of younger actors around now at the moment who I think are just absolutely brilliant. And certainly on camera, I think they do some phenomenal work. And when I'm around young actors at the moment, I do spend a lot of time watching them, because they have a different technique to the one that I learned when I was a young actor and I was starting out. My first TV job was EastEnders, and it was a great grounding to understand how to work on camera, because I was doing it, obviously, I was doing it every day for nearly 3 years. So I learned a lot of people like Susan Tully and Leslie Grantham about camera technique and doing that. And it was a good grounding for me to kind of carry on in the profession, really.
Question 4. Is there any role or character you would like to portray in the future, or is there any particular TV show or film you would like to work on?
Oh, don't I see so many TV shows right now that I'd love to do. I think some of the Netflix and HBO stuff is just phenomenal. And some of them that I've been up for and haven't got the roles in, and I kind of sit and watch them. I'm just like, oh, I'd so like to be in that, and I think TV at the moment is going through a real purple patch. Peaky Blinders is just phenomenal. I thought House of Cards was amazing when I watched it. There is so much stuff that I'd love to be involved in. I mean, I watch television, I watch dramas a lot. And every time I see one, I kind of look at it and go, I really want to be in that. And I've been up for a few and not got them, and then some of them I've been lucky enough that I've got. But I just think the TV at the moment is in a really good state. And so there is just so much stuff that I would love to be involved in. I'd love to do Peaky Blinders. I really would.
Person before said that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a really great piece of TV, and some of the HBO stuff series I think are great. I would have loved to have done the Chernobyl series. I did the original Chernobyl film in the early '90s, and I would have loved to have done that. So yeah,
that was a great series. I really enjoyed that.
Wasn't it just?
And Peaky Blinders, I'm hopefully going on set of Peaky Blinders next year and doing some interviews with the cast and crew.
Yeah.
It's something I'm looking into. I've requested it from Stephen Knight's agent. So
yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, good for you, because it's a great series. Yeah. And I think Cillian Murphy, I think he's just phenomenal.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
Really do.
And he was really good at Scarecrow as well.
Yeah, he was.
A Dark Knight trilogy.
And do you know what? They're looking for a new James Bond. I think he could make he'd be a good James Bond. He'd be a good Daniel Craig replacement. I really think he would.
Question 5. As an actor, how do you feel your career in acting has progressed over the years? And are there any areas of acting you would like to... Sorry, I've read that completely wrong. I do apologise. Start that again. Question 5. As an actor, how do you feel your career has adapted over the years? And which areas of acting do you feel you need to improve in?
I think I'm a better actor now than I was when I started out. I think experience counts for a lot. I think youth and energy count for a lot as well, but certainly now on camera, I'm a way better actor than I was before, and I'm a much calmer actor, and it's the same on stage. I'm much calmer than I ever was. I used to get very nervous on stage, and I don't get as nervous anymore. And also, I think as I've got older, the process in your head of adapting to a character is faster than it was when I was younger, because you have the experience and the technique to do it. And also I've now developed a way of working that kind of suits me, and certainly sometimes in television where you're working at speed, where I'm able to process what I need to do a lot more quickly. I mean, I have been very, very lucky that I've worked fairly constantly over the last 30 years, and I've done some great stuff, and I'd like to continue to do that. I mean, the things I enjoy most are the kind of big dramas. I enjoy those big TV dramas, and I'd really like to carry on doing those. And I just want to carry on into my kind of 60s, really, and 70s, and doing what I do. And, I work with Julian Glover, who you probably interviewed earlier, or you might interview earlier. Right, well, okay. But I worked with Julian Glover, and Julian was in his 80s when I worked with him, and I hope I'm lucky enough to just still be working in my 80s. I mean, I've managed to keep going since my early 20s, so touch wood, we'll be all right.
Okay. Question 6. What advice would you have for myself or any other young person looking to get a job as an actor or any other job in the film and TV industry?
It depends how you're starting out. Once upon a time, the only route into acting really was through drama schools. That's not the case now. I think there are many different ways of finding your way into the industry. I think because of the way media has changed, social media has changed, the way TV and film is made, it's much more accessible now than it ever was. But I think the biggest advice is you've really got to want to do it, because it's not easy. And if there's even a small part of you that is unsure, it can be a very challenging profession to be in if you're unsure. It's got to be the thing that you really, really want to do. Because if it's something you're just kind of dipping into or having a look at, it's going to find you out. And because the rejection comes at you every single day in various ways, and the highs are very high and the lows are very lows. But if you're not able to deal with that rejection because you're not sure about whether or not you want to be an actor, you won't wake up the next morning and go and kind of carry on and do it again. So I think you have to be very, very sure that it's the thing that you want to do. And I always have been, and I was very sure it was the thing I wanted to do. It was the only thing I could do.